Time, I would bring us to the close of the debate with a 2-minute closing speech or argument by all of the candidates, starting with Mr. Bowden, ending with Ms. Dean.
Well, thank you, Andrew, for being a great moderator, and thank you, Brendan and Andreas, for your questions. We appreciate your participation tonight. I also want to thank all of you for coming out here tonight. It is the night before Easter, so I wish you a very happy holiday season for tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to be running with Heather Summers, as I mentioned before, because she understands the challenges that face the 2nd District, and she certainly will be a strong advocate for you. And we're both mayors. And ladies and gentlemen, mayors have to do the job every single day. You can't waffle. You have to deliver efficiencies. You have to deliver services every day, or the public will let you know. And I'm proud of my record as mayor of Danbury. Very quickly, 12 straight balanced budget, a AAA credit rating, lowest unemployment rate in the state, one of the safest cities in the state of Connecticut, low taxes, low sewer and water rates, a high quality of life, and certainly union contracts that are fair and reflect the private sector. I'm eager to go out and hold Governor Malloy accountable for the largest tax increase in our history, for his corporate giveaways with you, and to corporate giveaways to his friends, and most importantly for his failure to help the middle class of this state. That indeed is the biggest indictment against this governor. He claims that he's for the middle class of Connecticut, and he has decimated the middle class of our beautiful state. Folks, I'm a blue-collar Republican, just like you. What my wife Phyllis and I we have because we built it together. Nobody ever handed us anything. And I mention this because at the end of the day, this election isn't about anybody that's sitting up here. This election is about you. It's about your home, it's about your neighborhood, it's about your town, and it's about our state. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired like Heather and I are, you'll join our team. Visit me at teamboughton.com. Learn more about my campaign and sign up and join, because together, working together as a team, we can do great things for our wonderful state. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McKinney.
Thank you, and thank you very much for being here tonight and for giving me the opportunity to be with you. You know, earlier this morning I was driving my middle child, my 15-year-old daughter, back from a soccer game. And she was asking me about what I was doing tonight, and I told her I was coming to a debate in the campaign for governor. We had an interesting conversation about what I would say and some of the issues. I tell you that because, without question, the most important thing I have ever done and will ever do in my life, and probably the hardest thing I will ever do, is raise 3 kids. And they're now teenagers, so it's a little bit harder at this time as well. But I am concerned about the Connecticut of their future. We have significant problems, and Governor Malloy and the Democrats have created those problems. Governor Malloy's given up on Connecticut. He said we'll never be a low-tax state. Well, guess what? That's why we need to get a new governor, because we can and should and must be a low-tax state again. I'm running because I want to turn Connecticut around. I don't want us to be Detroit. I don't want us to be General Motors and go bankrupt. I want to see the Connecticut that I grew up in, because that's the Connecticut I want for my kids in their future. First, we get our fiscal house in order. The next governor is going to be left a $2 billion budget deficit by Governor Malloy. We need to bring spending down, right-size state government. Right now, it is too big and spends too much. Second, we need to engage in tax reform. Not just lower taxes, but we need a simpler, fairer tax code. One that doesn't tax pensions and Social Security and punish people who've been successful. We need to streamline government regulations. We need government to partner with business owners, not be opponents and obstructionists to business owners. I will not, as governor, give out corporate welfare, giving out hundreds of millions of dollars to move corporations from one town to another. We're going to lower taxes for everybody, fix the foundation so people will want to create jobs in the state of Connecticut. And then we're going to tackle long-term debt. Those unfunded pension and healthcare liabilities we talk about. That's one of the main reasons why people don't want to invest in Connecticut. And as your governor, I hope to fix it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Foley.
I'll be a new kind of leader for Connecticut. I'm not a career politician. I come out of the business world. I'm a problem solver. I'm somebody who has led large organizations and knows how to set goals, develop a consensus, and get an organization moving in the right direction, and that's what this state needs. I'm also a family man. John has 15-year-old kids. I have 2.5-year-old twins. I'm more worried about them because they're going to be around longer. That is what makes us think about the future, what makes us concerned about families in the state, and one of the things that's most motivating me to run. I'm a Ronald Reagan Republican. I believe in limited government. I believe in the rule of law. I believe in individual rights. And I believe in the principles that underlie the United States Constitution, including the Second Amendment. I'm a good government person. You may have heard me speaking out on this over the last year. It simply appalls me what goes on up at the Capitol with special interests being at the front of the line and deals being done for pals and friends and families. I will clean that up. I've been very vocal about it, and I'll ride into town as an outsider and break up the cabal that's been running the state into the ditch. Listen, I've been traveling all around the state. People are very concerned, obviously, about the state. They're disappointed. They're fed up with this governor and with this government. I'll bring a new, optimistic picture of where we can go. I can pull the parts together. I haven't run into anybody in this state who voted for me in 2010 who isn't planning to vote for me again. I already have a very large base of supporters. I only lost by 6,400 votes. If I can go out and get an additional 6,500 votes, I can win this election in November, and I'm planning to do it.
Thank you. Mr. Loretti.
Yes, I think we can all agree at least on one thing, that the great state of Connecticut is not going in the right direction, and change is in the wind. I oftentimes reflect back on my 23 years as the mayor of the city of Shelton, and prior to that, 21 years being owner of my own business. And there's some things to be said for consistency. You know, we all have histories, we all have a track record, the governor included. His track record is loud and clear. It's tax and spend. If you look at certain people around in this political arena, you would understand very clearly who has a record of success. In my 23rd year, I have 22 balanced budgets, 22 budget surpluses. I don't use one-time revenues. I don't use tax incentives or tax giveaways as an economic development strategy for the richest hedge fund in the world to get $115 million of taxpayers' money to move from Westport to Stamford, while their CEO made $2 billion. We've never done that. What we've done is we've lowered the playing field for everybody. Every resident, every business owner, every taxpayer. Everyone becomes a recipient of good government and fair taxes. If you look at our mill rate over the last 20 years, it is consistent as the sun coming up and setting every single day. It very rarely fluctuates. In fact, if you were a property owner in Shelton, your taxes from 2009 today would have gone down by 3.8%. When was the last time that happened anywhere? And the reason that it happens is because we have business, and our business base continues to grow. Over 1,500 businesses in our community, and on any given day we have 22 to 25,000 people that commute into our city. I say that because we've become an employment hub. The things that we're prospering from in Shelton is what the state of Connecticut ails from. I told you earlier tonight, we have our pensions are 100% funded.
Right.
And our surplus is healthy and robust. And it just didn't happen from one year to the next. There's been a real consistency about this place called Shelton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Visconti.
Thank you, Andrew, Andreas, Brendan, and Colchester RTC for holding this event. One thing's for sure, one of us up here is going to be your next governor. Right now, I'd like to tell you why I know it's going to be me. I've been out in this race for about a year now. Some high-level official in our party came back from a tour with the Republican Party and kind of told me something funny. He said, you know, they said that the only thing that's going to win in Connecticut is an energetic, charismatic leader with ideas. I believe that's me. I'm a fighter. I fought in West Hartford for a decade. Most of the people that are running your state government, Andy Fleischman, Kevin Sullivan, Beth Bai, the liberal of liberals, and I've been fighting for a decade. I'm a builder by trade. I can't build it, I won't build it. I'll take something from a blueprint and I'll put it down. I will work as I've worked with union and non-union projects. And right now, as your next governor, those union workers will be employees of mine. They'll work for me and I'll work for you. We need the unions right now to come to the table. I'm working diligently with many of them right now. They want a choice in a Republican candidate that's willing to work for them to save their pensions. I will work to restore the Second Amendment. I carry a gun for 30 years, and I carry it because of personal reasons that I learned years ago when I saw society unravel in Florida. I believe the Second Amendment is key to the First Amendment. I I will fight to reverse Common Core trends, to give education back to parents and teachers, and take it away from the federal government. I will also work for small businesses, as I have. I've been a small business owner for 40 years with my dad, and know the trials and tribulations of the small business owner. As a tradesman right now, next week I'm going to Boston to work. That's where the work is. So I'll be leading the campaign trail for about a week on a project because there's so much work everywhere but Connecticut. We've been destroyed here in the construction business and many businesses just like that. But I'll be a leader who you may not think can win today because you think today it's all about the money. It's not about the money. It's about the character. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dean.
Yes, I have heard the people of Connecticut loud and clear say they're taxed too much, the state spends too much, and their rights and their privacy have been infringed on too much, and they're just done. They're done, and if they're not done here, they're done living here. And I truly believe that we are at risk right now of killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. The golden eggs in America and the golden eggs in Connecticut, and that goose is liberty, it's freedom. So I am very, very concerned about this, and I have been committed to restoring freedom to this state since 2002 when I first ran for Attorney General. I've twice been your Republican nominee for Attorney General. And I want you to know, for those of you who aren't aware of the statistics, that in 2010, when it was an open seat, I won 44% of the vote as a conservative Republican, as the most conservative Republican running that year. I took no public funds. I raised $120,000 and won 44% when other people spent millions of dollars to win about the same amount of votes. Now that's 44% isn't just Republicans, it's independents and Democrats too. So I wasn't a one issue or a two issue or a three issue candidate. Now I ran no TV ads, I ran no negative ads, I put out no negative literature. In fact, my opponent used your money, $750,000 to run TV ads against me, and people kept saying to me, Martha, we love your TV ads, and I said, I didn't have any. And they said, oh, well, he keeps running, or there are these speeches of you on the internet that we love. So my opponent's speeches that he was using to harm me actually gained me votes. But the fact is that don't sell Connecticut short. We are not a blue state. It is possible to win this state as a conservative. And as Jim Braddock said in Cinderella Man, if I can win this fight on a bowl of hash, just think of what I could do in 2 states. So it's not the hardest thing to do raising your teenager kids, as John McKinney says. The hardest thing to do is to raise $250,000 in a $100 increment. So I encourage you all to help me do that before the end of June, and I will be your next governor. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank everyone in the audience for coming out tonight. Thank everyone who helped out in the debate for all of their help beyond those even named. And I would like to wish everyone a joyous day tomorrow in this season of birth and rebirth. And then lastly, please join me in thanking the candidates for taking the time out this year. Maybe I don't know if the light's best there. Gentlemen and gentleladies, can we do another picture of the 6 of you?
Is that part of the problem?
Is that part of the platform?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Well done. Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Hi.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
See you later. Pretty good debate. Yeah, I thought so.
One of you stages, that we don't think where we go.
That's okay.
I don't want to stand next to him.
Put the tall guy in the middle. Yeah. Can we get a quick picture? Do you mind?
Yes. We just need to get
The rows between the folks.
I think it's not that bad. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well done, all of you.
Hey guys, thanks for your help.